The Panzerkampfwagen Tiger Aus B, more commonly known as the Tiger II or King Tiger, was Nazi Germany's most powerful heavy tank of World War II. Introduced in 1944, it combined very thick armour and a devastatingly powerful 88mm KWK-43 gun in a design intended to dominate the battlefield. Now, on paper, the King Tiger represented the pinnacle of German armoured engineering, but in practice the tank was beset by significant operational drawbacks. The debate over whether it was a good tank ultimately depends on how one defines effectiveness, technological superiority, or battlefield utility. Now, the Tiger II was a natural evolution of the Tiger I, addressing its predecessor's weaknesses while expanding on its strengths. The tank weighed around 69 tons and was protected by thick sloped armour up to 150mm at the front glacis and 80mm at the sides. This design could resist most Allied anti-tank weapons from a distance, making the King Tiger a nearly invulnerable behemoth when engaged head-on. Its primary weapon, the 88mm KWK-43 L71 gun, was one of the most powerful tank guns of the war. Capable of destroying any Allied tank at ranges exceeding 2,000 metres, it had exceptional penetration power, accuracy and range. In tank-to-tank combat, it was unmatched. Furthermore, the King Tiger had advanced optical sights, especially on the gun sight, allowing for deadly first shot accuracy. Its psychological impact on Allied troops was considerable. Reports frequently described encounters with King Tigers as terrifying and devastating. However, such power came with significant drawbacks. First and foremost were the King Tiger's mechanical issues. The tank was powered by a Maybach HL230 P30 V12 petrol engine, an engine initially designed for much lighter vehicles. While it could theoretically reach a top speed of around 25 to 26 miles an hour, in reality this figure was rarely achieved. The engine was underpowered for the tank's massive weight, leading to frequent breakdowns, overheating, and even fires. The suspension system, inherited and adapted from the Panther, was complex and fragile. The interleaved road wheels, while designed to distribute the tank's weight evenly, were prone to jamming with mud and ice, especially on the Eastern Front. The tank also suffered with poor reliability in winter conditions, where components would freeze, crack, or seize up entirely. Fuel consumption was another severe limitation. The King Tiger consumed around 500 litres of fuel per 100 kilometres, unsustainable for a Germany already suffering from a severe fuel shortage in the war's final years. This made long-range operations impractical and restricted the tank's use to largely defensive actions. Germany produced approximately 489 King Tigers between January 1944 and March 1945, a relatively small number compared to thousands of Shermans and T-34s fielded by the Allies. The complexity and cost of the tank, requiring scarce materials and highly trained crews, meant that it could never be mass-produced at a scale needed to influence the war's outcome decisively. Moreover, logistical issues plagued its deployment. Transporting the King Tiger by rail required special flat cars, and the tank often had to remove its outer tracks to fit within rail gauge limits. Bridges often couldn't bear its weight, and poor roads risked bogging it down. Many King Tigers were abandoned or destroyed by their crews due to mechanical failure or a lack of fuel rather than enemy fire. Despite these issues, in direct tank engagements, the King Tiger was formidable. During the Battle of Normandy, a single King Tiger could hold off entire Allied armoured units. In one famous instance at the Battle of Villers-Bocage, SS tank commander Michael Wittmann used his Tiger I, not Tiger II, to ambush British armour, but the Tiger II in similar situations demonstrated even greater lethality. On the Eastern Front, King Tigers made a strong showing during Operation Bagration and the defence of East Prussia. Soviet T-34s and IS-2s often struggled to penetrate the King Tiger's frontal armour. Still, they adapted by targeting its flanks or calling in artillery and air support. The tank's impact was further dulled by the increasing Allied air superiority. Fighter bombers, especially the RAF Typhoon and United States Army Air Force P-47 Thunderbolt, routinely targeted German armour with rockets and bombs, negating the advantage of heavy armour. A King Tiger could be disabled as easily by a bomb as a lighter Panzer IV. Whilst tactically limited, the King Tiger had significant propaganda value. German morale was bolstered by the promise of technological superiority, and the tank became a symbol of Nazi engineering prowess. For the Allies, however, the tank was a bogeyman. Many tank crews were warned to avoid direct confrontation with a King Tiger unless absolutely necessary. Yet Allied forces learned to adapt. Coordinated attacks using multiple tanks, infantry with anti-tank weapons, artillery and aircraft allowed them to overcome even King Tiger units. For example, during the Battle of the Bulge, Allied forces destroyed dozens of King Tigers, not necessarily in tank duels, but through superior coordination and resource deployment. So, was the King Tiger a good tank? The answer depends really on what metric is used. From a technological standpoint, the Tiger II was one of the most powerful tanks of the war. Its gun, armour and optics were state-of-the-art, and in a one-on-one duel on open ground, it had very few equals. From an operational and strategic standpoint, however, the tank was deeply flawed. It was over-engineered, expensive, unreliable, fuel-hungry, and produced too late and in too few numbers to make a significant difference. It was not suited to the realities of late war Germany, dwindling resources, collapsing infrastructure, and a shrinking industrial base. In terms of cost effectiveness, it failed massively. A King Tiger cost roughly 800,000 Reichmarks to produce, more than twice that of a Panther tank. For the same resources, Germany could have produced multiple medium tanks with greater overall battlefield utility. The King Tiger was both an engineering marvel and a logistical nightmare. It embodied the German tendency towards over-engineering at the expense of practicality. While it terrified Allied tank crews and could destroy anything on the battlefield in a direct duel, its mechanical unreliability, limited numbers, and massive resource demands made it a poor strategic choice in the context of total war. It was a good tank in theory, and in ideal conditions, it was almost unbeatable. But in the harsh and resource-starved reality of late World War II, it was more of a burden than a blessing. Ultimately, the King Tiger became a symbol of Nazi Germany's over-reliance on technological supremacy, a tank that arrived too late, cost too much, and did too little to change the outcome of the war. Thanks for watching. To support our channel, please click subscribe down below, it really does help. And once again, thanks for watching.